Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that someone, more than a decade ago, had predicted the very disasters you lived through. Earthquakes, tsunamis, global crises, all unfolding exactly as they said. Now, imagine that same mysterious figure warns that the year 2025 will be the first major turning point in a terrifying prophecy that could alter the future of humanity forever. This isn't a movie script. This is the chilling story of a self-proclaimed time traveler from the year 2062, a man whose cryptic messages stunned Japan and the world, leaving us with one haunting question. Is 2025 the year everything begins to unravel? Stay with me as we unravel the disturbing saga of 2062, the anonymous traveler from the future, and his terrifying prophecy for 2025. In November of 2010, on 2 Channel, one of Japan's largest online forums, an anonymous post appeared out of nowhere. While people were casually discussing anime, politics, and everyday chatter, this post detonated like a bombshell. Its author introduced himself in simple but shocking words. "I come from the year 2062. He claimed his mission was not entertainment, not curiosity, but one of life and death for humanity. At first, people rolled their eyes. After all, the internet is filled with hoaxes and fictional tales of time travelers. But this one felt different. At the bottom of the post was a strange coded message, mixing Japanese and phonetic symbols, almost like a cipher. The author claimed it was a piece of advice for modern humans. When decoded, the cryptic message read, "Run to the mountains." Most dismissed it, a silly phrase from a silly post, until, just months later, reality gave it terrifying weight. March 11th, 2011, a calm spring morning in northeastern Japan. No one could have imagined that within hours, the world would witness one of the most devastating natural disasters in modern history. At 2:46 p.m., a massive 9.0 earthquake struck the Tohoku region, unleashing violent tremors that shattered buildings, cracked open roads, and shook the country to its core. Then came the tsunami. A wall of water over 40 meters high roared inland, swallowing entire towns in seconds. Tens of thousands were killed or went missing. The Fukushima nuclear disaster followed, deepening the nightmare. And then, in the aftermath, people remembered those haunting words, "Run to the mountains." What had been dismissed as a joke suddenly seemed like a warning. The eerie alignment shook the nation. Who was this mysterious poster? Was it possible that he had really known in advance? July 2011, the mysterious figure known as 2062 returned. He answered only a few questions, but refused to give clear details. Instead, he made a promise he would reappear in April of 2016, when another major event would unfold. And once again, the prophecy struck true. On April 14th, 2016, a powerful earthquake hit Kumamoto in southern Japan, killing dozens and injuring thousands. The very next day, 2062 reappeared online, just as he said he would. By this point, people noticed a terrifying pattern. Whenever 2062 announced he would return on a given date, a disaster always occurred one day before. On May 16th, 2016, an earthquake struck Ibaraki Prefecture near Tokyo. The following day, right on schedule, 2062 appeared again. 3 accurate predictions, 3 devastating disasters. The world could no longer ignore him. During his appearances, 2062 finally revealed more about his supposed technology. He explained that in his future, humanity had mastered time travel, using advanced devices with strict oversight from an organization called the Temporal Management Bureau. 2 devices existed: the Vicious 5000 for moving forward in time, the Plusnek 6290 for traveling backward. but strict rules governed their use. Time travelers could not interfere with history, could not reveal too much, and could not profit from future knowledge. Breaking these rules meant being erased from the timeline entirely. This explained why 2062's answers were often cryptic, why he disappeared so quickly, and why his warnings were veiled in riddles. In one of his rare direct answers, 2062 issued perhaps his most chilling prediction. He declared that a third world war would break out before 2030. Unlike the past two world wars, this one would not primarily be nuclear. Instead, he warned, it would be fought with chemical weapons, more horrifying and destructive than atomic bombs. The war, he claimed, would begin in Asia, ignited by decades-old tensions between two unnamed nations. From there, it would spread like wildfire across the globe, engulfing the Middle East, Europe, Russia, and the United States. Japan, he warned, would come perilously close to being wiped off the map, with millions fleeing as refugees. The idea was terrifying, and yet his track record made it impossible to dismiss. After 2016, 2062 vanished again, but not before leaving two final warnings. On July 4th, 2025, a major earthquake will occur off the coast of Japan. In 2024, a major event will occur. The second prophecy already unsettled people. In 2024, the world saw record-breaking heat, the hottest year in history, along with devastating superstorms. Typhoon Yagi in Asia, Hurricane Milton in the US, and catastrophic floods in Afghanistan. Were these the major event he spoke of? Or is something worse still waiting? And now, with 2025 upon us, the first prophecy hangs over Japan like a sword. If the July 4th prediction comes true, the implications will be earth-shattering. The mystery of 2062 doesn't end with his predictions. In fact, some of the most fascinating parts of the story come from the theories people developed about his true identity and purpose. One popular theory suggests that 2062 was not a lone time traveler at all, but part of a government experiment. According to this interpretation, his cryptic posts were deliberate leaks designed to test how the public would respond to foreknowledge of disasters. If people ignored the warnings, then governments would know that humanity was not ready for large-scale disclosure of future events. Others believe that 2062's accuracy could have been the result of advanced statistical modeling. By 2010, some scientists were already experimenting with algorithms that analyzed seismic data, weather patterns, and political tensions to predict outcomes. Could 2062 have been an early AI project disguised as a time traveler to protect its source? Then there are the cultural explanations. In Japan, folklore and prophecy have always had deep roots, from ancient oracles to modern-day manga and anime. Many point out that 2062's warnings bear eerie similarities to prophetic manga like Nostradamus' prophecies, or works predicting earthquakes and wars. Perhaps the character of 2062 was inspired by these cultural threads, woven into a believable online persona. But there is another possibility, the most unsettling one. What if 2062 was telling the truth? His warnings were sparse, his details minimal, but the accuracy was undeniable. If he really was a time traveler, then his appearances suggest that history itself is fragile, and that every small decision we make today could ripple across the future he came from. Whether hoax, experiment, prophecy, or truth, 2062 left behind more questions than answers. And perhaps that was the point. Skeptics argue that 2062 is nothing more than an elaborate internet hoax, a lucky string of coincidences magnified by human fear and memory. But believers point to his astonishing accuracy, his timing, and his consistency. Whether or not 2062 was truly a time traveler, his warnings reflect real vulnerabilities of our world. Certainty of natural disasters in earthquake-prone Japan, the rising risk of global conflict, the mounting evidence of climate change. Perhaps the greatest lesson isn't whether 2062 is real, but whether humanity is listening. And now, here we stand, 2025. The first turning point in 2062's terrifying prophecy. Will the July earthquake strike? Will the world continue down the path to global war, or will humanity prove capable of rewriting its fate? What makes 2062's story so powerful is not just fear, but the possibility that warnings are opportunities. Perhaps the future isn't fixed, but instead a path we can still change. The words that haunted survivors of the 2011 tsunami still echo today. Run to the mountains. Maybe, just maybe, those mountains are not only places of refuge, but symbols, reminders that survival depends on heeding the warnings before it's too late. The story of 2062, the alleged traveler from the future, forces us to face an unsettling reality. Even if he is a hoax, the dangers he warned of are very real. Earthquakes, climate change, war, these are not fantasies. They are possibilities written into the very fabric of our fragile world. And so, as we move deeper into 2025, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared for the future, or are we ignoring the warnings until it's too late? What do you believe? Was 2062 a brilliant hoaxer, a lucky guesser, or a true traveler from the future, trying desperately to warn us? The answer may determine not only how we view the past, but how we survive the years to come. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery of 2062 and his terrifying prophecy of 2025, don't forget to subscribe for more chilling stories, hidden histories, and unexplained mysteries from around the world.